I also want to turn to the top issue for voters, and it's one that both candidates actually hit hard last night. Take a listen.
America First means having tax and regulatory policies that keep jobs and wealth in the United States.
We're stronger when our economy works for everyone, not just those at the top.
Regulation, which is strangling our economy, which would be brought down from its present insane level.
We all want an economy with more opportunity and less inequality.
So, candidates, can they stay focused on the economy going forward? Eliana Johnson is with us, along with Scott Martin. Eliana, let me start with you, and Charlie is staying with us as well. Obviously, we know typically it always becomes the economy, and these are two candidates with two distinct messages about how they're going to help our pocketbooks.
Absolutely. Hillary Clinton would love to talk about the economy because, of course, the economy is improving right now relatively, though it hasn't been very strong during the Obama administration. But she can harken back to the Clinton years in the 90s. It's something that she wants to talk about. Trump, his advisors are begging him to talk about the economy, to stop popping off about individuals attacking his fellow Republicans, attacking Judge Curiel. They're telling him to get on message, and by that, they really want him to talk about jobs, jobs, jobs. Trump is a talented communicator, but he's not a focused communicator. I think it will be very difficult for him to stay focused on a message, but his supporters would be delighted if he could do that.
You know, Scott, the last 3 election cycles, the richest person lost. But this time around, it's going to be real interesting for someone who became a multimillionaire as a politician to play that, that wealth game. Even though we know that's the path Hillary's taken, I don't know how seriously people can take someone who made $100 million as a politician.
Yeah, let's be fair. I mean, I think this election with the rich guy involved is going to be closer, you're right, Charles, than the last 3, so that's good. And I think really that's the understated kind of advantage here that Trump carries, is that private sector experience, that creation of tens and tens of thousands of jobs that he can bring to his resume. I mean, I do disagree with, though, one thing that Eliana talked about, which is hearkening back, as she said, with Hillary to the 90s with the first Clinton years, because there are things like the Community Reinvestment Act that were the genesis of the housing crisis. The fact that Clinton really can't take credit for the tech boom that we saw in the late 90s, that to me actually make that more maybe of a middle road type of advantage that she can carry versus what Trump brings to the table.
Here's a bigger problem with hearkening back to the 90s. You're hearkening back to the 90s. I mean, let's be real clear here. She's going to run on Bill Clinton's record, which is much close, and it's particularly his second-term economic policies.
Where he was forced to move over by Newt Gingrich and company.
But he moved.
He did.
He cut
taxes.
taxes.
Listen, I give him credit for not derailing the tech revolution.
Think about what he did in his second term. That was much more like what Donald Trump is proposing than what Hillary's proposing now, which is essentially Bernie Sanders. And I will say this. Here's the problem that Donald has, though. You have to hit that message hard. I don't think you hit that message with a teleprompter. He should be Donald Trump. Nasty, vindictive, sneering.
Isn't that the Donald Trump you diss every day?
No. What I diss is the racial stuff. I don't like that. I don't like playing to people's worst fears. But you can be really nasty on Hillary Clinton by talking about the economy and talking about issues instead of like talking about Judge Curiel. That's where he should be.
Well, and how about her doublespeak? How about when she goes after Wall Street and talks about financial companies and how much she hates them, yet she takes money from them hand over fist just to go speak at their conference?
The problem, though, is...
Eliana, this is what I want to bring up, though. We live in a grievance society. Everyone's always complaining, and everyone feels, I think universally, there feels like there's just an unfair system out there. This week we learned about a hedge fund guy who has a $63 million house. He's going to tear it down and build a new one. This morning, a report out on global wealth. In America, the richest people own 60% of the assets. A lot of folks just think the system itself is inherently unfair and it favors the Donald Trumps of the world. I got to believe that's the only thing that Hillary's going to bang.
Yeah, I think that, Charles, that's precisely what Trump has done a nice job shining a light on in this election. And he's really taken the grievance politics of the left that the left has given to all sorts of minority groups and given them to, lower middle class white people and said, you guys are the ones getting a raw deal, and those are really the people we've seen rally around him. If Trump can stay on message and say Hillary Clinton is the person who's taken advantage of all these breaks that she's gotten and taken advantage of the political system to get where she is, I think he will be in a strong position in the general election.
You know, Charles, the numbers are on his side. I mean, income inequality has exploded under President Obama. You can be the tough, nasty Donald Trump talking about all these great issues. You have it in your... It's like what scares me about him is that he's snatching victory from the defeat from the jaws of victory. Right. It's the other way around. He has great issues. He's got a message. He's got the ability to control the debate. Yet he's talking about Judge Curiel. That is the scary part.
There's no doubt, Scott, of all the different issues that people have been polled on, I think runaway Donald Trump, everyone believes, the vast majority believes that he would be significantly better with the economy than Hillary Clinton. It seems like, to Charlie's point, it's a no-brainer. It's a slam dunk.
Yeah, I mean, I think you got to go where, say, the popular concerns are, and I'll tell you where else they are, too. They're on defense. I mean, right behind the economy is defense, terrorism, and he's also strong there because of his policies and his ability to talk about beefing up the military. So I think those are two areas that, yeah, Charlie's right. You know, let's get him away from the judge problems that we've talked about in the last few days and get to the real issues that Americans care about, and I think he's getting there.
And everybody that knows Donald
easier said than done, guys.
You know, that is true, but everybody that knows Donald personally, he is not a racist. He can be crazy. He's playing to a base of the party, which I think is wrong. But inside, this guy is not that.
Well,
that's what perplexes
the problem,
me.
Though, is that very few people know him personally, and they just can go what they see, particularly in mainstream media. And Eliana, you know, you talked last Friday. We had 38,000 jobs. Obviously, a disappointing number, one that I think Trump should have seized on. But what if we start to see that pick up? What if we get some form of momentum in? Job creation is around 200,000 going into November, because we've seen that coincidentally before in prior elections.
Yeah, when you look at elections statistically, if the presidential approval rating is above 50%, if the economy is doing well, the fundamentals of the election will favor Hillary Clinton, and Trump will have an uphill battle to fight.
All right, guys. Some of this stuff is baked in, too.
Oh, yeah, we know, of course. Hey, guys, thanks a lot. I really appreciate it.